Hey, hi everyone. Thanks for joining. Good evening. Good morning. Okay, so let's get started. Today agenda. This is course of a crash course. Azure SQL DBA and the database migrations related course content. This is purely okay. So the link, the course content related, I already shared. Just go through once and uh, let me know your inputs on that. Okay, so you are comfortable or not. So today agenda is just we are going to discuss about database Azure SQL database, and we just have 15 minutes of time. We'll go through for the uh, all theoretical part. Then we'll go for 5 minutes course content that what we are going to delivering, and then we'll go for the demo part of deploying of Azure SQL managed instance or SQL Server IaaS VM. So how to connect and we'll see. Okay, so this is what today agenda. So here is my profile. Okay, so I am 60 years of experience in IT. Okay, so working as a database and migration consultant, a technology consultant, multiple organizations. So working, last 6 years as a cloud technologist, Azure and GCP, and slightly touch base on AWS as well. Okay, so coming to this Azure technologies, basically, we have around 54 regions and 140 data centers across the world is available. It is got extended now. Okay, so a lot more regions as well as data centers came into this picture. Okay, so why we should go for Azure, basically comparing to other cloud technologies. With respect to database related, Azure is the best suit. Okay, since this AWS is a micro market leader, but still the SQL prospect of a lot more offerings, services it is going to providing. Okay, so that's what we look forward for. SQL product standpoint of Azure is the best with respect to PaaS offering. And the database related stuff comparing to AWS and GCP, and we do have other cloud vendors, Alibaba and Oracle Cloud, VMware Cloud, IBM Cloud. So these are the lot more cloud competitors in the market providing of the public cloud sector. But Azure is for the SQL related is the best suit. Who was already a little bit of experience in developer, administrator, or BI or stack, so there easily can understand upskill that cloud technology basically. Okay, so we we just comparing this the cloud adoption in the across the world. Of course, as I said, AWS is the market leader, but second is Azure. Okay, so gaining the market share, it is tightly competitor of AWS and GCP. Okay, so we can say this. And other thing that we need to talk about cloud deployment models. This is not only for the Azure. Okay, it is a unique terminologies that you need to know about service model and the deployment models prospect. Before going to jump into this one, why we want to go for first of all, Azure for the SQL related stuff. Yeah, because of if you can see this, hybrid solution connectivity. Basically, the SQL is Microsoft product, trusted product. Okay, so for the RDBMs related work, so the hybrid solutions. Let's say you want to connect from on-premises to cloud. Okay, so you have on-premises that you want to connect to cloud. Okay, and within the cloud, within the cloud to cloud also the connectivity establishment is in a Microsoft and it is very good connectivity with. When you comparing to this, AWS is a market leader, but hybrid connectivity is very good into the Azure, and that is a one thing. And of course, this enterprise agreement as well. Why we should go for Microsoft product is basically so who are using for the Windows. Okay, as well as the SQL application or the SQL server. So because of this enterprise agreement concept, okay, so that they can able to reduce their cost around 60% of the cost. Okay, let's say you have already enterprise customer which is having your end Microsoft product licensing with you. Okay, that you can able to avail and into the cloud landscape and get it done around 60% of the cost reduction. Okay, so that is the one thing. In fact, the rest of the cloud vendors also recently introduced to give this offer, but comparing to this Microsoft Azure cloud technology or Azure SQL, okay, so which is very lesser part. Okay, so and more most thing is Microsoft recently introduced last year there is a stop and start services, and we do have Azure SQL pass mode. Okay, so SIM serverless connectivity, serverless services that we have, that it is going to reduce the cost. So there is a multiple custom option to we can able to avail based upon your requirement. This is a one thing that we can good to go. The hybrid benefit or the hybrid connectivity also we can go to go for this. Uh, seek Azure cloud. Okay, and most of integrated other environment. Let's say you are enterprise customer, you are running business, you have already for third party tools like let's say Commvault, Foglight, this ticketing tool. So these tools we can able to integrate with this Azure cloud. That is a best thing this cloud Azure cloud technology which is going to give. And most important thing is security offerings. Okay, so with respect to SQL, which is going to offering you, okay, so first is portal level. Okay, so second thing is the policies that we can able to implement for the subscription level, resource group level, and instance level. And you do have database level, server loads, database roles, and you do have object level security implementation we have. On top of it, we can implement for like TLS enabling by default. Okay, so we do have TDE and service manager key and customer manager key. These are the predefined configuration. Just we need to enable and use it. So that's what comparing to other cloud vendors. For SQL Prospectum, I am pretty much sure to go for Azure is the best suit. What I want to say here. Okay, so. Yeah, that is the one thing that I want to tell. Okay, so the other aspect that I want to highlight here. Okay, so within this timeline. Okay, yeah, we'll see here. Okay, so we do have Microsoft Cloud Services. Basically, it is going to offering you. Okay, so four type of offerings. Coming to this SQL, we will get two service offerings. One is the infrastructure as service and the platform as service. But if you can go for normal cloud, Azure cloud is going to provide three layers of offerings. So one is for the infrastructure and the platform as a service and the software as a service. Basically, for the SQL related, we have only for IaaS and the PaaS module. And traditional method that currently what exactly we are going to follow in a on-premises, okay, completely your environment related to networking, storage, services, visualization, OS, middleware, runtime. Okay, so if you are an entrepreneur and you want to build your application and all, you need to build your data center, to engage your technology stack peoples and do your own, backup, restore, networking, everything you need to into in minutes. So last, 15 to 20 years we are using this traditional method only, but towards in the cloud technology, I know what are offering. Okay, this is not only for the Azure but the other cloud vendors also we have for infrastructure as a service and the platform as a service and the software as a service. Coming to the SQL is basically we have two service layers. One is for infrastructure as a service. Okay, so it is as similar as our on-premises. Only the thing is that this is network and storage services virtualization, the cloud vendor is going to maintain. And rest of the part, so OS, middleware, runtime, data, and application. Okay, so this is we just need to maintain and the manage. Okay, so this use case is basically in the real time prospect of let's say your application dependency with the OS level access. Okay, so that is the one thing. And if you are comfortable, as same as your on premises, that you want to manage your own customization environment, configuring of your backup, configuring of your high availability, and patching, upgradation that you want to take care of, you can good to go for this one. Okay, so that is one thing you can able to suggest the clients. Okay, so where we can able to have for infrastructure as a service, it is which is going to give compatibility of 99.99. Okay, so that much of the compatibility it is going to give, except underlaying this stories and the network stack, it is going to mean for the cloud vendor. Okay, so the coming to this platform as a service. Okay, so complete out of 9 layers, which is going to maintain um 7 layers. Okay, so networking, storage, services, virtualization, OS, runtime, and only you need to focus on the data. Basically, what that is mean is, in the platform as a service, so what it is going to happen. They're going to take care of your backups, and they're going to take care of your high availability and the patching. Okay, so upgradation. Okay, so maintenance. Even you will get point in time restore. Okay, so you don't need to bother about all this stack. Okay, so everything is going to taken care, only you just need to focus on the data. Okay, so that is the platform as a service. So everything, if it is going to maintain by cloud vendor, what is the scope of work with as a database. Okay, so as a database guy, you just need to take care of one thing, you need to do the deployment process. So you just need to take the backup and refreshment, and to move your backup files to other resource group, other lower environment, and you can give your scripts execution. And let's say if you want to do some R&D, that do some migration kind of works. Okay, that we can able to do. These are the tasks that you are going to have in the platform as a service. It is comparing to if you're doing 100% of task here in a traditional manner. Here in the platform as a service, if you are going to work, you are going to have the scope of working is basically 40% of the things. Okay, rest of the things you don't need to bother about. Okay, and coming to this infrastructure as a service. Okay, so whatever the things that you are going to do, all the tasks, let's say you want to do the availability concept, disaster recovery, and maintenance plans, and jobs configuration, linked surveys, and external connectivity, and DB mail, and you do have some, some sort of things to do, permission related, patching, connectivity of the AD level, providing the permissions, all these things. Out of the 100%, you are going to do only the 80% of the things. Okay, so why? Because here it is going to maintain uh, underlying 4 layers, right? So OS and storage related, Microsoft Azure is going to take care. So that's what you'll get a task about 80% task. If you are, your, vendor is maintaining a platform as far as 40% of the task you are going to do. So ultimately, the DBA requirement definitely it will be there. Okay, so it does not mean that if you're going to maintain the cloud, you don't have work and all. But doing of work, 4 peoples they can maintain, manage, 2 peoples or 3 peoples. That's what intention it means in the cloud, the DBA perspective. Okay, so this is all about a service perspective. Okay, so I'm just talking about the service. Just a minute. Okay, so we just talked about the service offerings of cloud from the Azure end. Okay, so let me move this next part. Okay, so Azure cloud service offerings. Okay, so that just we talked about infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, right? So that we just have this one. Okay, IaaS, platform as a service, and software as a service. So these are the service offerings, first of all. Okay, so then after that, we just talked about here the infrastructure as a service and the platform as a service. Okay, so within this pass module, we'll get an option. Okay, so let me go here only. Yeah. So as a database standpoint of, we do have scope of work in the two service offerings. Okay, so infrastructure and platform as a service. As I said, the business use case that we are going to use. Okay, so in this one, infrastructure as a service that we are going to talking about. So it will comes into the scope of SQL Server IaaS VM basically. Okay, so SQL Server in Azure VM. Basically we will get two things in this one, a SQL Server IaaS stream. Use case one, okay, use case one that you are going to use if you are licensing. Okay, so use case two if you don't have any licensing. So when we are going to go for this infrastructure as service, let's consider about what happened, boss. Okay, let's consider about this infrastructure as service is basically in use case one. Let's say, okay, so you are enterprise customer dealing with, okay, so customer is having enterprise licensing factor. Okay, okay, if they're having the licensing with them, okay, so what they can able to use, okay, so only for in the licensing also, let's say the SQL licensing, sometime they're going to purchase already, and OS level licensing also they're going to use. Okay, both the case they're going to benefit with this option. Okay, so the customer wants to move their landscape from on-premises to cloud. Okay, so they can use this use case one. Basically, if the customer is having on premises, okay, the let's say he's having hundreds of server, within the 100 servers they want to manage 20 servers or 30 servers, straight away they are not going to move complete environment, slowly they are going to move, okay, to on-premises to cloud. So that is the case. We can use this licensing to run in infrastructure as a service. Okay, so where we have to VM deployment. Okay, so use case one, if they're having SQL OS and the SQL and the OS licensing already with the on-premises end, they can able to use. Okay, in this case, what it is going to happen? Let's say the VM completely cost. Complete cost is 1000 USD, okay, monthly. Okay, so let's, if you have this OS and the SQL license, okay, so he's only having the OS license, SQL license is not there. They will get around 49% of the cost reduction. Okay, so 49% of the cost. Remaining 61% of the cost they need to pay. Okay, so likewise, the hybrid benefit is going to happen. So and also the use case prospect of they want as similar as on premises how they're running their business model. Okay, so SQL, OS level access and all, let them go for, SQL Server IaaS VM here. Okay, So this is one kind of hybrid benefit they will get if the enterprise customer which is having licensing already with them on premises they can able to utilize here. So that's what they can go for infrastructure as service here. Okay. So the other aspect, let's say the customer is having only for the SQL licensing, that also it is going to give around 60%, 61% of the cost reduction. Okay. They can pay out of 6,000 USD, they will pay 61 6 6,000 600, approximately 600 USD dollar they can pay, okay, if the OS is there, and if the SQL is there, both if they're having, okay, so only they're paying for the underlying network. Okay, think about it, they're having both the licensing already in on premises. So if they're going to use both the things, they're just paying, minimal price. It is, 20% of the cost they're going to pay. Out of 100%, they're going to get the benefit of, SQL and the OS. The I use case too we can consider about. Let's say if they don't have any licensing on premises, still they want to go for infrastructure as service. Yes, they can good to go as per their requirement. They can pay this one 100% of the cost here. Okay, but think about it. So you deployed, you migrated the server. Okay, so without applying of the licensing and all, post that you realized, okay, customer came back and, hey boss, we have the some of the licensing that we can able to apply for the enterprise license or standard licenses and all, whatever their environment, so you can apply. So before deploying off, you can able to avail that offer, or and after deployment also we can able to apply that licensing as well, that it is going to give the flexibility of the Microsoft 10. Okay, so that is a one thing. Okay, so the infrastructure as a service, and we do have the platform as a service, right? So platform as a service will get like three things actually. Okay, so here one is Azure SQL. Okay, so this will comes into the singleton database. Okay, it's a similar kind of content database, and Azure SQL e-pool. Okay, so elastic pool concept. Okay, this is a cost-effective solution, and we do have most popular one, and most of the client that are looking forward for the managed instance. Azure SQL managed instance, right? So these are the three of deployment models we have. Okay, so elastic pool and singleton database. We do have managed instance. This will comes under the scope of PaaS model. Basically, we'll get PaaS services. We'll call it as a PaaS services or database as services, or else we can call it as a managed services. Okay, you can there is a multiple terminals using basically. Okay, so it's depend upon client and what they're talking about during this meetings and all, but they're discussing about only for the PaaS model. Just keep in mind. Okay, so PaaS database services, managed services. Okay, so if you can consider this single ton database or Azure SQL and elastic pool and the managed instance, basically these two services, service tiers. Okay, we will get 99.95 compatibility we will get. Okay, so okay, so the rest of this
I
Azure
think it is
SQL
uptime.
managed. Sorry.
99.95 uptime.
Yeah, that is the uptime here. Okay, so and the compatibility also we can get here is 99.99. Okay, this is SLA what we are talking about here also SLA, right? So why? Because For the on-premises, what we're talking about the SQL Server related, when you are going to move your workloads to the cloud landscape with respect to Azure SQL and Azure SQL managed instance. I'm just talking about the compatibilities of the features in on-premises. Let's consider about your SQL Server. Okay, you will have in on-premises SQL agent, linked service, DB mail, cross query. Okay, so offset records to fetch from the different data sets to use for the polybase related, right? So that kind of features we will not get in this scope basically. Okay, that's what compatibility of your services prospect of the bloom full bloom we will not get. Okay, coming to this Azure SQL managed instance except OS. That's what we are just taking 99% of the compatibility. The uptime itself, we just need to consider this one 99 and this is 99.95. Okay, because of it's depend upon what pricing tier we are going to choose. Okay, within this Azure SQL Pass module, we do have pricing tiers. Okay, basically pricing tiers we will get like DTU models and vCore model. Okay, so we will discuss during the deployment in details, just what I'm talking about high level here. Okay, so and overall, okay, so we will have service offering, infrastructure as a service in the platform as a service, software as a service. The business use case when we are going to choose this infrastructure as services, basically it's depend upon OS licensing, but think about it this aspect, when you are discovering status. Okay, just jump into the project, we will discuss in the customer. You need to ask, okay, whether you have the existing licensing or not. If not, there is an alternative approach to give this cost related. So once the discovery phase you did, okay, so during the migration or during the initial phase of discussion with the client. Okay, once you discovery has done, so the discovery you may did my manual using of the script execution, asking of the mail to provide your inventory information, server configuration, database configuration. You do have map tool, discovery, Microsoft assessment planning tool. You do have one more thing, DMA tool. This is also discovery tool. A lot of services we can use for the Azure migrate service, and you can use for the data studio also for the discovery force. Once after the discovery has done, okay, you are letting know the complete infrastructure deployment infrastructure information of the client. Here is you need to ask, boss, you have this licensing or not? Otherwise what it will happen, you discovered and you are going to give this options. Yes, you have infrastructure service, platform as a service. Okay, so is going to cost like something 1500 15,000 USD. Okay, and if you go for the pass model, it is going to 5,000 USD. If you are going to give unestimated things, comparing to on-premises, client is not going to sync. Why? Because nowadays all the clients is very much intelligent. Why? Because they're going to compare the cost related to other clouds also. Okay, you be specific and get it done things and give it to this. Okay, why? Because if you are knowing the things better, you can able to give the right solution. Okay, why? Because if you go straight away the SQL VM comparing to the past model, it is going to charge heavily. Okay, still you are maintaining your own 60% of task you are going to do, but the cost is very high. Okay, so if they're having this OS and the SQL license, which is going to lesser cost of them, then they can able to go. So if the licensing information with your hand, the solution very easy to you. Okay, if the if the licensing information which is not in your hand, the solution is very just complicated, because of you need to go for a granular level. Let's say 100 servers, you have 100 servers, they want to migrate. You need to decide about which server will they go for pass module. Within the pass module, which one is going to suit for Azure SQL, which one is going to suit for SQL managed instance, or Azure SQL singleton elastic pool related. So when we are going to decide, okay, so let's say client want to go for pass model. He don't want to go for infrastructure service, they want to go for the pass model, but they will use for the licensing. Okay, again, there is a use case, it is going to come into the picture. So customer have the licensing with them, okay, SQL license with him, okay, and they want to go for managed services. Okay, in a managed service, in the sense it is going to comes into all three services, right? So singleton, elastic pool, managed sensor. So how you can able to avail that one? Okay, so you have an option. Okay, so Azure SQL, and okay, so for premium service tier, okay, and you do have SQL managed instance and business critical, pricing tier. So with these two options, you can able to use for a hybrid benefit thing, existing license actually. Okay, so you will get two things here. One is for Azure SQL, and also hybrid benefit will get as long as you are going to use for the premium service tier. And the licensing you can able to use for the hybrid one for the managed instance as well. So it's a depend upon their requirement. Why? Because so once after the migration, they are not looking forward to manage the services. Okay, so the cloud vendor is need to go and take care of everything. Okay, so high availability and disaster recovery, backups, patching. Okay, so maintenance. Okay, so everything they need to maintain, manage to after the migration has done. So and including that, they want to use this, licensing also. Okay, they're going to get around 49% of uh, offering Microsoft is going to give in this both the use cases. Okay, so as and when they're going to use for the business critical and the premium tier, okay, they will get read-only replicas for the Azure SQL and Azure SQL managed instance. We will discuss in deeper on that part, but high level how we can able to avail that in existing licensing with with this three services. Okay, but we have the scope of only for two things I asked in the past model related stuff. So any question till here? So I want to move just a demo part. No? Yes? Okay. All right. So uh, I just want to know highlight here. Okay, just what we discuss is basically the licensing related I discussed. Okay, because of that is what it is going to happen in the real time. Okay, so the high level generic, if you're going to talking about singleton database is basically we will go and utilize at a startup company that they want to utilize for the SQL. Yes, best go for singleton database with there is no dependency at all related linked services, DB mail, and if they don't have OS level access, they want to use for the greenfield of database services. Yes, best suit for this one. And Elastic Pool, which we talked about, cost effective solution. Let's say they have pool database. Okay, so there is different time zone they are going to utilize. They are using 100 databases. Okay, so these 100 databases they are using different time zone, IST time zone, EST time zone. Okay, what it will happen if you go and deploy in a single ton database, that is dedicated resource, it is going to happen. Okay, so in this aspect, let's consider about this 100 USD it is going to take for the one database. Okay, if you're deploying of 100 database instances, okay, it is going to 1000 USD dollars per day. Okay, so the similar kind of approach, let's say you have 100 database in a different time zone that you are going to utilize. Okay, you can make this one into the elastic pool concept. Okay, this is going to shared resources model, it is going to help. And you have a custom option to set for specific database specific resource utilization you can able to give. Let's say the database one, you can attach 10 DTUs. Database 2, you can configure custom configure 30 DTUs, right? So what is the peak load of the specific the database, and what is the time zone and all about. So you will get to know that accordingly you can able to set it. But in ideally you are going to pay for the overall cost, what exactly you are going to use. It is not going to cross whatever you are going to configure. But here whether you are going to utilize or not, you are going to pay completely 24 by 7 pay. So this is somewhat cost, but we go for the elastic pool, but which is going to use for this elastic pool for unpredictable workloads. And if you have stick and predictable workloads is there, that you can able to utilize for the singleton database. And managed instance, comparing to this option, managed instance, you don't have a serverless option, but recently Microsoft introduced in the 2023 year in the 2019 wave. Okay, we do have a stop and stop option in the instance level, so that it is going to give some cost reduction, but this feature is not available. If it is disconnected, please rejoin.